Red Dead Redemption 2. Widely considered to be the greatest game of all time. Loaded with what feels like endless amounts of action-packed cowboy chaos and truly breathtaking sights to see and explore. A story that is among the best that gaming has to offer, and a protagonist that is unlike any other that I've ever seen. But with that being said, I decided to go out and get Arthur a job. Arthur Morgan is going to be making his money the legal and honest way, working bottom-of-the-barrel jobs that pay just enough for him to buy his alcohol and black out in a random field. For this video, I'm going to be using the Jobs mod, which will allow me to complete menial jobs around the map and fulfill Arthur's desire for a good, honest living. This mod allows Arthur to pick from 7 different jobs with varying tasks that range from cleaning tables in Valentine to driving trains in Saint Denis. My goal is to make $1,000 by only working these 7 jobs. No train robberies, bank heists, or even petty theft. For the time being, Arthur Morgan is going to do his best to become an upstanding citizen. But before we hop into the video, I just want to say thank you to everybody for the continued support. We're currently on the road to 5K, and I really appreciate all of you who've helped me grow this channel these last 2 months. So with that being said, let's see if we can rack up $1,000 without causing too much chaos. I started my journey to legal living by applying for a job to become the bartender's little helper. I found my new boss and quickly got my first job. Go for the bag. Not very descriptive, but we work with it. Not wanting to disappoint my new boss, I sprung into action. But next thing I know, I'm ambushed by 2 men that I'm guessing also want said bag. But as soon as it looked like they had me, out of nowhere, Arthur pulls off this crazy ass move and we live to fight on. With his confidence high, there was nothing that could stop him from getting that bag now. So as Arthur politely handles the 2 attackers, I start to wonder, what is in that bag that could be worth all of this commotion? For sure it must be something valuable, right? But after further inspection it turned out to be fish. I almost died over a bag of fish. Legal living is gonna be tough. Now it was time for the good part.
We need that money.
To my shock, I was paid a whopping $33 for securing the fish bag. Maybe this challenge won't be so hard after all. So with $33 in my pocket, I set out to find my next job. For this job, I had to deliver a horse to Wallace Station. A pretty easy and straightforward task, but Arthur Morgan takes every job seriously. As we arrive, I'm instructed to stop the horse, so I do as I'm told. And then I magically get money, $52 to be exact. Only 2 jobs in and we're already almost at $100, my confidence is at an all-time high. I found a man looking for someone to service his wood, but there was one problem. There was another rival lumberjack on my block, so I did what had to be done. At first I tried threatening him with Arthur's aura alone, but somehow that didn't work. So I gently moved him to the side so that I could begin my job, only to realize that it wouldn't let me. Furious and on the verge of tears, Arthur writes down his big feelings in his little feelings journal. But we don't let a little slip up stop us from our goal. I decided that now was the time to head to Saint Denis and take on my biggest and most important job yet. But as always, I'm struggling to complete a simple task and I find myself caught in this labyrinth of boxes. I finally escape and somehow commit a crime. But that didn't stop me as I still begged the man for a job. Arthur Morgan is going to drive a train. So as I'm about to leave the station, I toot the old train whistle to announce my departure. Little do my passengers know, their train is being conducted by a wanted man, but karma would quickly bite me in the ass in a way that I could have never expected.
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the... Man, get your song, boy.
Yup, I got stuck behind the slowest train of all time. I could have walked to my destination faster than this train was moving, and I had to drive it from Saint Denis all the way to Annisburg, but I said screw it and decided to keep on chugging. And finally, after almost a full in-game day, I see the 3 most beautiful words. Stop the train. After being up for almost 2 days straight, Arthur is exhausted and in definite need of a good night's sleep. But with the day-long train job only earning him $37, he has no choice but to do one thing. Okay, so mining isn't as badass as I was hoping, but something within me yearns for the mines, so I keep going. The next portion of cave that I have to mine is fairly close to some boomsticks, so I have to make sure that I don't accidentally hit it. At this point, Arthur's exhaustion is becoming a lot more apparent, so I power through the last few sections and then head to the boss man to collect my pay. $60 is the most money we've made on a job yet, bringing our total up to $172. Not bad for 2 days' work back in 1899. But with day 2 coming to a close and only roughly a fifth of our goal completed, I knew we had our work cut out for us moving forward. To start day 3, I take a job washing tables at the saloon in Saint Denis. It's not the most glamorous work, but it gets me a quick and easy $40 towards my goal. After clocking out at the saloon, I head to the east side of the city to start my first hunting job where I'm paid to deliver a perfect buck carcass. My hunt eventually leads me over near Emerald Ranch where I finally spot my first 3-star buck. Now I usually don't use weapons when I hunt animals because I feel a primal urge to use my limbs, but this buck was especially elusive, so I eventually just... and then headed back. I dropped off the buck to my boss, who ended up paying me $49 for the kill. So now that we're over a quarter of the way to our goal, I decided to pick up a late shift cleaning up the docks by the train yard for the last job of day 3. While the dock job did take longer than the others, I was paid $60 for my efforts, and that kept me optimistic for the days to come. Day 4 started with Arthur chopping some wood in Rhodes. Notice the absence of the rival lumberjack. I think we successfully dealt with him the last time. So I finish up with my wood and get paid a whopping $56. We then head over to Saint Denis to take another train job. Once we get there, Arthur hops in the train ready for his journey. As we get going, I notice thankfully that the slowest train in existence has found a different track to terrorize. So with free railroad ahead, we make the journey to Annisburg with no problem. Arthur ends up making $43 for the trip. And then we head back over to Valentine to pick up another shift at the saloon. After Arthur gets done scrub-a-dub-dubbing, he collects his measly pay of $27. But as we're closing in on the halfway mark of this challenge, I realize that now is the time to pick up the pace. For days 5, 6, and 7, Arthur put his head down and worked his butt off. Day 5 was as routine as it could get. Arthur started the day delivering a wagon from Valentine to Van Horn, then traveled to Saint Denis for another conductor job, before finally servicing a man's wood over in Rhodes. In total, we made $179 on day 5, bringing our grand total to $626. On day 6, Arthur took a hunting job in Strawberry, where he had to locate, kill, and deliver a turkey carcass. So he promptly located, killed, and delivered the turkey. Next up was yet another train job where Arthur drove the short trip from Saint Denis to Annisburg. And right after that, Arthur got suited up and went back down in the mines to cap off the day. On day 6, we ended up making only $126, upping our grand total to $752. Day 7 was a little more wacky. We started off the day by transporting a bounty from Valentine to Strawberry. As soon as that was done, Arthur rode back to Valentine so they could clock in for his job at the saloon. And just like day 1, he had to go retrieve the fabled fish bag. He's ambushed again when he attempts to retrieve it, but this time by only one person. Once he handles his attacker, he goes and picks up the bag, when the butcher comes over and starts throwing hands for absolutely no reason. Arthur's forced to defend himself, but still ends up getting reported for a crime. Not wanting to disappoint his boss, he takes the bag of fish and runs for the hills so that he doesn't get caught. Once the commotion died down, he went back into the saloon to drop off the fish and collect his pay. When out of nowhere, the butcher comes back and throws a haymaker to the back of Arthur's head. So again, he's forced to defend himself. At this point, Arthur's boss starts fleeing from the saloon and Arthur has to chase him down just to get paid. Now that he was done at the saloon, Arthur transported another bounty, but this time dropping him off in Rhodes. But even though it was a crazy day 7, we ended up raking in our highest single day total of $206. Bringing our grand total up to $958. So with only $42 left until we reach our goal, Arthur goes to bed early so he can be fully prepared for the final day of the challenge. When Arthur wakes up for his final day, he's ready to rock. He goes and drinks his morning coffee and then greets Dutch before he heads out for his first job. We make our way over to Rhodes to handle some wood one last time, which pays a cool $20, putting us only $22 away from our goal of $1,000. For the last job of this challenge, Arthur goes to Strawberry and picks up one more hunting job where he is instructed to hunt and deliver a deer. So after hunting for a while, Arthur finds the perfect deer and snipes it with a tomahawk to ensure the kill. We then load up our prize and deliver it to the man in Strawberry, earning us $33 and officially putting our grand total at over $1,000 earned. So over 8 in-game days and around 30 jobs done, we have officially completed the challenge. Now that we have over $1,000 of legal money in our pocket, who knows? Arthur may never want to commit another crime. Maybe he'll give up his chaotic lifestyle for a life of peace and hard, honest work. But something tells me it won't be long before he's back to his old ways.
You think you can just saunter back in here after what you did?